Welcome back to Encouragement Corner. We're going to talk about anger today. How about that?
Anger management.
Anger management, anger issues, anger.
You think a lot of people have anger issues?
I think a lot of people have anger issues, and I think a lot of people will be able to relate to this episode. So my first question to you, babe, is when you think about anger, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Man. Anger. I'm not really a angry. I guess with me it's just like 0 to 100.
Right. There's no in between with you.
No. Most of the time I'm 0.
99% of the time you're 0.
But when somebody, I guess the first thing I think about with anger is, why are you so angry?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, why do we allow other people to push our buttons to the point to where, you know, the Bible says be angry and sin not. Yeah,
yes.
right. Like, we get mad and we go you know what I mean?
Yep. And we just want to really, man, it's crazy because a lot of people allow anger to control their emotions.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of people use anger as an excuse, you know, to act out or to attack someone. You know, they use it as an excuse where they made me mad, or, you know, they did this to me, so I got angry. You know, there are many reasons people get angry, and so like you said, why do you allow people to push your button? You know, and then another question I have is, can you communicate well while you're angry? Can you effectively communicate while you're in an angered state?
Actually, I would like to go back a step from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, because the first thing that kind of triggered in my mind, like, we've dealt with some people that have anger issues.
Some real anger
right?
issues,
and,
yes.
And one of the telltale signs of these people, one of the common denominators, rather, of people that have anger issues is their inability to properly communicate how they feel.
That's true. That is so true.
Think about the people we've dealt with anger problems. There's always that component of not having, you know, a way, or not having the ability to voice how you feel without the outbursts.
Yeah, because, man, that is so true. And even when they talk to us and we're asking them, okay, well, what was going on? You know, what made you respond that way? You know, I don't know, I just got mad. You know, or I just got so mad that I just wanted to, you know, I just wanted to hit somebody.
Yeah, or you punch a hole in your wall.
But they could never tell us what drove them to that point, what really brought that out of them.
Or
they couldn't communicate.
Yeah,
that.
Or communicate to the person that made them angry, right? Like, this is what's happening with me. This is what's going on. Yeah, it's tough, man. Anger management.
Yeah, there are so many different phases of anger. You know, I taught anger in one of my classes, anger management. And when I taught the students anger management, we talked about many different ways to become angry. We talked about, you know, what were the triggers, what pushed them into becoming that angry person. And when we went through each and every one of those steps, there was always a period in their lives where they felt like they were being attacked, and their only emotion to give or to come back on somebody was to get angry, and then destruction soon followed. And whatever that destruction is, destruction can come in so many different forms. You can emotionally destroy someone. You can physically destroy someone. Destruction is real, and so that is one of the points that they reached.
How many people that you've talked to about their anger issue have kind of unrealistic expectations from other people?
Oh, just about all of them. To be honest, just about all of them.
Right, that when people don't respond to you the way you think or the way that you want them to respond to you, then you get angry. If people don't do things the way you want it done, you get angry. You know what I mean? Like I think from a lot of the people that we talked to before, you know, I think that you see that a lot also in their, you know, in their anger situations, in their anger issues, right? Like you're mad because they're not doing something the way you want it done,
the way you think,
or the way you have in your mind. If, you know, if we're a couple and I do this for you, then my expectation, right? Even if I haven't properly communicated that expectation, right? My expectation from you is that you will return this particular behavior to me. I did this for you, you do this for me.
And when it doesn't happen,
you
blow up.
Right.
That person blow up. I mean, and it gets out of control. You know, I think about the times that I've gotten angry, and just okay. So everyone who knows me knows how I feel about, you know, cleanliness and cleanup. This is just a small thing, you know, but for me it's a huge thing.
Right.
And so whenever I come home and things are not the way that I want them to be, or if something is out of place, or if something is messed up, and I've already communicated that over and over, please pick this up, please clean this up, please, then it gets to a point where I become so angry that I just want to latch out at everybody. Right. But I know I can't. So what do I do? I call them all in. We have a little talk. We look, please do this, please.
Come to Jesus meeting.
I've learned how to control my anger. I had another incident. This was years ago, that somebody in my family was saying some things about me on the phone where everybody, all of us could hear it. And it wasn't true what they were saying, and it angered me. It angered me to the point to where I just wanted to literally cuss them out. I wanted to cuss them out and go through the phone and just wreak havoc on them. Like, I'm not kidding.
I remember that.
Man, yeah. I was so angry. I was fuming on the inside. I felt like I was about to blow up on the inside. And then I could hear God saying, calm down. Because if you put that out there, you can't take it back. You have tainted your walk.
Man.
And I didn't want to do that. As a Christian, as a child of God, I had to control. It's the second time I've had to control it. I've had to control it many times, but huge to where it could have made such an impact if I'd have put that out. Just think if I'd have just went ham and just started cussing and just, you know, I'm going fine. I'm going.
And so that's you know, I kind of had that thought as you were talking about, you know, one of the dangers we have when you say you learn to control your anger, right? I think that one of the things that happen to us while we have to learn to control it is because, like you said, once you put it out there, you can't take it back. And people say all the time, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words don't hurt me. And that's a lie, because words hurt.
Yes, they do.
Right? And, you know, we used to have this analogy that it's like when you take toothpaste and squeeze it out the tube, you can't put it back in there.
Oh, I like to use one. That's a good one. I like to use the one that's like a shooting a bullet out of a gun. And when you release, when you pull that trigger and that bullet hit whatever it is going to hit, it destroys it. It damages it. So once you pull that trigger, whatever you do, whatever action you take, just know that it can destroy and damage it for life.
Yeah.
And you can't take it back. You can't put a used bullet back in a gun. You can't put toothpaste back in a tube. So you have to be careful.
And I'm always leery of people that will say things when they're angry and then use anger as an excuse, right? Or I didn't really mean that. I just said that because I was angry. In my mind, I'm like, no, you meant it.
You meant it.
You just didn't mean to say it.
Right. But your anger.
But now you use that anger as an excuse to say what you really want was in your heart all along, what you wanted to say anyway.
Yeah. I always ask people, you know, why do you allow your anger to control your actions? Why do you allow people, so someone does something to you and you allow what they did to you to control how you respond. So why do you allow that? You're in control. You decide on how you're going to respond. You decide on the action that you're going to outwardly express. Right. You make that decision. No one else should have that much control over you to where they cause you to respond in a certain manner that's going to get you in trouble later.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of consequences. There are a lot of consequences that come with exerting so much anger on someone.
Yeah. And you will suffer those consequences.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so,
for every choice, what I say, for every choice,
there's a consequence.
Whether good or bad.
Whether good or bad.
And you will suffer.
And you can't control your anger because you don't have the communication skills, right, to properly express how you feel.
Right. Right.
Right. It is so important that we learn, you know, I forgot what we called it in the other video, but just how to, you know, properly
express
yourself, how to deal with your life.
Coping skills.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. That's what I was. Yeah, like people don't have coping skills, and so, you know, you get upset about, and we're not saying like don't get angry. Like
right. You get angry. Control it though.
He said be angry
and sin not.
Sin not.
That's
like,
it.
You can have, it's a natural emotion that things people are gonna make you angry. That's fine. It's just you gotta learn constructive ways.
Right. And then anger does damage to you as an individual because now it affects your health.
Absolutely.
Your blood pressure just goes sky high.
Man.
Like in a sec, I was going to hit my hand real hard.
So being a trainer, like that's one of the things that I try to get people to see all the time is that your negative emotions have a real physical effect on your body, on your health.
Yes, it
right?
does.
It starts jacking with your hormones.
Yes.
And it has a real negative effect on your body. And so if you're the type of person, man, that you can't control your anger, right? Like you say, you're creating, watch this, right? You're creating a negative environment for people around you and yourself.
Yeah, that's right. So now you've created an environment to where you say people around you, no one wants to be around an angry person. You know, no one wants to be around someone who they know if you say one little thing wrong that, you know, you're stepping on their toes, they just gonna go off.
Yeah, we gotta walk on eggshells.
Nobody has time to be walking on eggshells all the time. You know what I'm saying?
But that's one thing that I love about our family, and I think one thing that most people will say about our family, if you come hang out with us, you gotta have thick skin. Because, you know, we don't really walk on eggshells.
We don't walk on eggshells
around people.
We're real.
But it creates such a peaceful environment because you already know where everybody stands. You know what everybody's pet issue is. Right? And so people wonder how, you know, 8, 9 of us could live in a house together and it's peace and harmony and we all get along, we all love each other.
Right. And I was going to say, you know, when you said living in an environment where we don't walk on eggshells, you know, we keep it real and we know what one another is coming from.
Yeah.
And we don't push buttons.
No.
We don't push buttons because, you know, why would you want to push someone's button who you know that if you do this one certain thing it's gonna just blow up. They're gonna blow up. Why would you do that? Why would you want to do that? What's going on the inside of you that would make you want to go and push somebody else's button?
Man, think of how many husbands and wives we've counseled, right? That can't get past or think it's a good thing to push each other's buttons.
You know, that to me, that's a territory that you stay away from. If I know what angers you, if I know that it's going to make you, you know, you're going to blow up, I'm not going to cross that line. I'm not going to mess with that because I don't want to deal with the consequences of that. You know, I don't want to deal with what comes after the anger is expressed.
And then people wonder why they can't have peace in their home and their relationships. You can't have peace on your job and you blame everybody else.
And you the angry person. You the one who's angry. Anything that anyone says to you, anything that anyone does to you, it causes you to become angry. You know, because
some people wear that with pride.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me. They know not to mess with me. They know I don't play. Like, that ain't a good look. You know?
It's not.
It's nothing to brag about.
It's not.
We can't disagree because, you know, you got a chip on your shoulder about something.
Yeah, and that's crazy. That's crazy that we can't have a decent conversation. I say something that you don't like without you getting angry. You know, or you say something that I don't like without me getting angry. And it's a lot of people are like that. They can't communicate because for fear of, oh, I might say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't have to be fearful of saying the wrong thing to your friends, to your family, to your spouse. You shouldn't have to be. You should be able to communicate with whomever you want to communicate in a respectful, loving manner. Say whatever it is that you want to say, and still be okay with one another.
Yeah.
Because we're all different. We're unique, and you don't think like me. I don't think like you. You don't act like me. I don't act like you. So if I say something, you know, for instance, if I say something that I know angered you, immediately I'm gonna come back. You know what, baby? I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. I may have meant to say it, but I shouldn't have said it. There's a difference.
Right.
You know, I'm not gonna say I didn't mean to say that because I'd be lying.
Yeah.
No, I meant to say it, but but I didn't want to hurt your feelings when I said it. I just wanted you to know how I felt.
Right. And sometimes this is just so good, man, because if we can learn how to do this thing, man, we can be so much further in our relationships, because everything comes down to how we deal with people, how we deal with each other. We just have to learn. We have to take responsibility for our action.
Right.
In it, right? Not what the other person says or does, but we're only held accountable to how we respond.
Yes.
Right? So even if somebody's pushing your buttons, right, you're responsible for how you react.
For your response, yes.
Right.
You are. And another thing that made me think about is when I am responding, how many people am I hurting? You know, how many people am I really hurting around me? I'm hurting myself. I'm hurting the person that I'm responding to. I'm hurting the people who are around me. And you know, I want to go back for a second. And I know we kind of jumped around here. We talked about this briefly, but can you communicate effectively when you're angry? You know, no, you can't. Why? Because you're screaming, you're hollering, you're cussing, you're fussing. Nobody can understand what you're saying. The other person can't get a word in edgewise. And so it's just a big ball of confusion and anger and everything just coming in at you at one time. So you can't. You have to calm down, think this thing through, and then communicate. Right. You can't communicate effectively when you're angry. It is impossible to do that.
So look, okay, how would you, and I have my idea, but how would you deal if you're not the angry person? What if you're the recipient? What if you're on the opposite end of dealing with an angry person? Like, you know, what advice would you give to somebody who deals with, you know, an angry person? Or somebody that, you know, you feel like you have to tiptoe around, or, you know, they're going to take everything you say out of context, blow it out of proportion, you know, put words in your mouth.
For me, I would avoid that angry person. But I live with that. I know. I'm just teasing. I would try my best to put the fire out.
There you go.
I really would.
Because that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Like, it takes two to tango.
Yeah. So if I don't fuel it, you can't continue to go on. So you go ahead and you say what you have to say. I'm gonna sit there and I'm, depending on what you say, right, I'm gonna listen to you to a certain extent. You know, as long as you don't cross that line, you know. But ultimately, my goal is to, you know, let the fire die.
Right. Let's keep the talk about the issue.
Yes, don't bring up past stuff. People have a bad habit of doing that. Bring up past.
Let's talk about because now we want to fight fire with water. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water, right? So we want to do what we can to stay on the issue, right? And, you know, you come back and talk to me. We can talk about this thing when you calm down, right?
And that's it. You know. So, you know, we're gonna end it here. And if we want to discuss anger further, of course, we can do another episode on it. But I think this is good. I think it's really good and it gives people something to really think about.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So, you know, just realizing there are ways to combat, you know, anger. Right. There are ways to manage anger.
Yes.
And so we just, we hope that, that was something that we talked about today, that,
Yes.
if you identified with being the angry person or on the recipient end of an angry person, right, that you walk away with some, some kind of strategies that you can use.
Yeah, and learn to smother the fire, because if you smother it, it can no longer burn. It eventually will go out. So thank you so much for joining us again. And remember, as always, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, and turn your notifications on. And we will see you next time.
Have a good one.